Namaste and good morning to all of you. Let's start our Wednesday lesson. And today we are going to learn a little bit about the Puranas because we all know that word Puran, but do we really know what's in there and where is it coming from? So let's do some prayers before. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parbrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Bhurbhavasvaha Tatsavitravarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Asto Ma Sadgamya Tamso Ma Jyotirgamya Mrityorma Amritam Gamya Om Sehna Bhavatu Sehna Bhunatu Saviryam Karvavai Tejasvi Navadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavai Om Shanti 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 Om. If we take a deeper look at the knowledge system that we have in the forms of Vedas, Purans, Upanishads, Agam Shastra, or Siddhant, etc., there are three very important standards that are incorporated in the structuration, articulation, and propagation of these knowledge systems. So in other words, these are not just the words taken out from here and there. There's a very deep message in this knowledge system. The first one is the factoring in a rhythm into the linguistic, that is through Chandas Shastra. So why Chand Shastra? So that we can memorize it easily. So to make it easily memorizable. So there's a rhythm. So these scriptures are extremely rhythmic. Second important standard in these scriptures is that they are aphoristic in nature. That is by leveraging a very unique property of Sanskrit that allows us to encode complex meanings into the shortest form of the sentences in Sanskrit. So they are not only rhythmic, they are aphoristic also. And the third very important standard which is incorporated is that they are in a dialectical manner. And this is the most beautiful of the all three, because the first two need a bit of scholarship into Sanskrit, but the third one is being dialectical. It's like a simple storytelling format where characters exchange the ideas or indulge in a conversation discourse. So in other words, it's all about storytelling. We know that stories are very powerful means of communication in the history of mankind. And that exactly is what is incorporated as the third standard in the Bharatiya knowledge system. Today we're going to talk about Purans. In Purans also you see the conversations between two people or more than two people. There are a lot of mythical stories there too. Let's try to understand what is Puran. I sent you two verses. The first verse clearly tells us what is in each Puran. In Sanskrit, the Purans are called Puranam. And these both the verses are from Bhagavad Puran. So in the first verse, explanation of what are the qualities that a scripture need to have to be called as a Puranam. And there are 10 such characteristics. Sargosthai, Visargascha, Vriti Rakshant, Anicha, Vasho Vanshanu Charitam Sanstha, Hetur Upashraya. दश भी लक्ष्येने युक्तम पुराणम तद्विदो हुति के चित पंचविद ब्रह्मन महद अल्प व्यवस्था. So that means 10 characteristics for a scripture to become a Puran. The first one is Sarga. Sarga means history of creation of the cosmos. So Purans have that. History of the creation of the cosmos. As human beings, we always wonder, where did this all come from? Who created it? How long it's going to stay? What will happen afterwards? The second word is Visarga, history of creation of life. What we call life, where did it start? What does it really mean? Life. Third is Vritti, history of the evolution of life. Vritti. Fourth characteristics is Raksha, history of the sustenance of life. Fifth one is Antarani, history of the time scales. Number 6, Vansh, history of the lineages. Vansh. See, just like we say Surya Vansh. Bhagwan Ram, Surya Vansh. Bhagwan Krishna, Chandra Vansh. Those are the Vansh, lineages. Vanshanucharita, history of dynasties of kings. Sansatha, history of the catastrophe. Hetu is number 9, history of prime causation. Apashreha, history of the supreme being. Now you can see that in Purans, how much deep knowledge is there. If a scripture has these 10 qualities, which is all about recording the history over these 10 aspects over millions of years, in terms of Mahayugs and Kalp cycles, such a scripture is called a Purana. See, now you can look at Sarg, Syat, Visarg, Vritti, Raksha, Antarani, Vanshaho, Vanshan, Chalitram, Sansatha, Hetu, Ashraya. See all those words, you know the meanings now. First question is, when we are studying the Purans, are we conflicting history with mythology? Because a lot of people, they say Quran is a mythology. Remember, history is an account of what happened in the past. That's a history where it can be proved beyond doubt, saying that it happened. Lord Krishna was born. Lord Ram was born. History. Whereas mythology, there is a scope for illusion or some sort of things that we don't really comprehend about the past. Then we just call it a mythology. We don't need to debate about it. Certain things, sure, we don't understand. Right now we don't, but when we dig deeper into it, we do. On the surface, we don't. So history is important. Mythology is important too. History is also called itihas. That's why Ramayana and Mahabharata, there is exact historical accounts in the itihas. But Purans are never called as itihas. They are just called Purans. For a reason which is meant to be a historical account, but at the same time, there are many elements which are metaphysical, spiritual, as well as scientific. You see all the elements in the Purans. A long story short, the Purans are a compendium of various ideas and different aspects beyond just the history. But the prime purpose is to document the history through these stories. So it's up to you how you want to take it, whether call them itihas, the history, or whether you want to call it mythology. But there is a very deep knowledge in there. Another basic question is, how many Purans are there? There are 18 of them. Pretty much all of us know it. But where is this coming from? Again, in Bhagavad Purana, the second verse which I gave you, Ved Vyas ji has written this. Brahmam padam vaishnam cha shaivam langam sadarudam nardiyam bhagavatam agneya sakand sangitam bhavishyam brahmvavartam markandyam swamanam varaham matsamyam kormam cha brahman akhe nati. Three shat. The last word is three shat. Three means three, shat means 6. So 3 times 6 is what? 18. So there are 18 Purans. So this verse is from Bhagavad Puran. There is a Brahma Puran, Padam Puran, Vishnu Puran, Shiv Puran, Ling Puran, Garud Puran, Narad Puran, Bhagavad Puran, Agni Puran, Sakand Puran, Bhavishya Puran, Brahmavart Puran, Markandeya Puran, Vaman Puran, Varaha Puran, Matsya Puran. Kurma Puran and Brahmand Puran. So you can see very clearly Maharishi Vedvyasji is telling us there are 18 in number, and these are the names. Let's try to see what is there in each of these Purans. Because we know that each of these Purans have thousands of shlokas. They are written in a shlok form, not in a mantra form, in a shlok form. Hundreds of chapters. Some Purans have one book, some two books, or 6 or 7 books, or in some cases 10 to 15 books also. So you can say that it's a collection of lots of books. Thousands of shloks, hundreds of chapters. But in this class today, we are going to go through only a synopsis of it, so that we can see what is the essence of each Puran is. It's an ocean. So that's why we are just picking up only a little synopsis of each of these Purans in our class today. Let's look at what is in the Brahma Puran. Brahma Puran has the sequence of Manvantras and the events that happened in those Manvantras. And what is a Manvantra? Manvantra is a very large scale unit of time. Measurement of time which was used in Bharatvarsha, which spans across millions of years. And there are 14 such Manvantras. And they are also cyclical in nature. And Brahma Purana details about that. Details about the sequence of the Manvantara and the events happened during those Manvantars. If you're interested, you can look at the Brahma Puran for that. Another thing mentioned in Brahma Puran is king's lineage of Surya Vansha. Talks about at length the Surya Vansh and the emperors and the kings and the kingdoms that emanated out of the Surya Vansh. And as I said earlier, Bhagwan Ram, he was a Surya Vanshya. Brahma Puran details about the geography of the ancient world, its territorial composition, its contents. It talks at length about the Jambudvipa. I'm sure you have all heard of that name, Jambudvipa, which is roughly equivalent to the southern half of the Asia and Europe together. Jambudvipa. Largely inheriting from the Vedic philosophies. Brahma Puran establishes the principles and practices of yoga. Brahma Puran also deliberates about the philosophy of Sankhya Yoga, which was established by Kapil Maharishi, which tries to understand the fabric of this universe and the cosmos in a very irrational way. Most importantly, in an atheistic manner. If we try to read and understand Sankhya philosophy, you will get a picture that how open-minded is the culture of Bharatvarsh. Brahma Purana also gives the account of Shiva Parvati Kalyanam, the destruction of the Daksh Yagya. Shri Krishna's life history also is there. Brahma Puran also details at extensive length about the Shraddha Karam and other sacred rites to the Pitars. Pitars are the departed ancestors. Brahma Puran also gives a lot of prophecies and predictions about how Kali Yuga will unfold. And this is in short all about Brahma Puran. Second Puran in this verse is mentioned Padam Puran. Padam Puran explains the birth of Lakshmi Devi and many other akhyans about Lakshmi Devi. A lot of other stories. And this Puran details about the destruction of Daksh Yagya again, lineages of Devatas and Danavs. And very interestingly, Padam Puran explains at length about the Ramayana. And that Ramayana part can be divided into two parts. The first one is the missing chapters of Ramayana. We all know that there are 6 kands in Valmiki Ramayana, starting from the Bal Kand to the Yudh Kand. And it is pretty much in a linear timeline. The events are explained in a very linear format as the time progresses. But not everything is documented in these 6 kands. Certain chapters or certain events that happen during this linear timeline of Balkand to Yudh Kand are documented in Padam Puran, which you will not find in Valmiki's Ramayana. For example, when Lord Ram was meeting Rishi Markandeya, such kind of events are not elaborated in the Ramayana of Valmiki, but they are elaborated in the Padam Puran written by Maharishi Vyas. And then the most interesting part or most talked about part of the Ramayana is the Uttarakand. That is mentioned in the Padam Puran. So Padam Puran elaborates at length about the events of Uttar Ramayana. And it is explained in a great detail in this Padam Puran. Padam Puran also elaborates various pilgrimage sites across Bharatvarsh, mountains, rivers, oceans on the earth, the wars of the Devatas and Asurs, and also after life journey of the Atma is mentioned in this Padam Puran. Significance of each Ekadashi is elaborated at length in Padam Puran. Because if we do Ekadashi Vrat, it's good to know. Why are we doing it? What is the significance? So this is in short what is all about Padam Puran. The third Puran in this list is Vishnu Puran. Vishnu Puran details about time division and measurement. from as small as micro nanosecond measurements up until the millions of years, wrapped up in the time units of Kalps and Mahayugs. Vishnu Puran mathematically defines the smallest unit of time up until the largest one for time division and time measurement. Vishnu Puran also talks at length about the lineage of the kings of Bharatvarsh. It also details about the future or the forthcoming Manus and Manvantars. It explains the structuration of all the four Vedas and the composition and contents of the Vedas. Why they are divided in the way they are today. It talks about it. Rig Veda, the Yajurveda, the Samveda, the Atharvaveda. It explains about the structure, contents, and the composition. Vishnu Puran also elaborates about the 28 Vyas Maharishis that we have till now, who in each Dwapar Yug constituted the Vedas and many other knowledge systems and passed down towards their Shishyas. Vishnu Puran also elaborates about the sacred rituals that a grist or a gristi householder should observe. And it continues to illustrate about the various dynasties like Uru, Kuru, Turvasu, and many more. It also talks about the legend of Prahlad, the legend of Dhruva. These were very young devotees of Vishnu. Talks about 12 Adityas and the significance of each Aditya for each of the month of the year. Vishnu Puran also talks about how Buddha came down as avatar of Vishnu, with the positive intention of opposing the Vedas. Vishnu Puran also says that Buddha avatar happened not just once, but a couple of times in a cyclical manner. And it also talks in great detail about the life history of Shri Krishna. Various sacred rituals in the worship of Shri Mahavishnu. It also talks about the history of Badrinath and many other important places across Bharat. So that is all in short about Vishnu Puran. The fourth Puran is Shiv Puran. So if you remember in that verse, Brahmam, Padmam, Vaishnavam, Chashavam. So Brahma Puran, Padam Puran, Vishnu Puran, and Shiv Puran. Shavam, fourth. Shiv Puran illustrates the origin of Lord Shiva in the form of Agni Satambha. In this class, we have studied Shiv Puran. And if you can remember the conflict between the Shiv, Vishnu, and Brahma. And that's how that Agni Stambha was created. Shiv Puran talks about the sacred rituals of Shiv Linga. Talks about Shiv Tattva. the philosophy of Shiva. It again elaborates about the description of Jambu Dweep and many other geographical locations in Bharat and around Bharat. And we saw that great detail, Shiv and Sati Kalyanam. Destruction of the Daksha Yajna. Then there was a Shiv and Parvati Kalyanam. How Parvati did the penance. Another interesting thing in this Shiva Purana, we learned the human anatomy and embryology. What is the anatomy of a human body? And how the embryo gets developed month by month in the womb of the mother. So given in this beautiful Purana. A very detailed biological and embryological account of the development of human fetus is illustrated in the Shiva Purana. Shiva Purana also elaborates on the birth of Kartikeya, son of Lord Shiv and Parvati, and the birth of Ganesha also. The origin of Kal Bhairav, the origin of 12 Jyotirlinga, the birth of Nandishwara. We saw all of that in that Shiva Purana. But in this talk today, only a little short clip of what we read in that. So, Brahmam, Padmam, Vaishnavam, Chashavam, Langmam, Sagarudam, Nardinyam, Bhagavatam, Agnayam, Sakand, Sangitam, Bhavishyam, Brahmavartam, Markandyam, Swamanam, Varaham, Matsyam, Kormam, Cha, Brahmand, Akyam iti, Trishat. So next week, we'll look at the rest of them, the Linga Puran, Garud Puran, Narad Puran. So just a synopsis of each of these Purans, so that you just get a little understanding of these great scriptures written by Maharishi Vyasa. Maharishi Vyasa is the one who wrote all these. But there have been, as I mentioned, so many Rishi Vyasa. So Vyasa is just a pen name they used. Okay, so this is just a little synopsis of what Puran is and how many Purans are there and where is it coming from, and in each Puran what is mentioned, and in general what can we find, what kind of questions can be answered in these great books of ours. Let's stop it here because I want to just go through the rest of them next Wednesday. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vishishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you very much.